What's going on, everybody? Brian Mann here, hands-on auto training, end of day. This is January 3rd, 2022. Happy New Year, everybody. I'm excited for a great 2022. I hope everybody rang in the new year in good fashion and had a good time, and I'm looking forward to a great year this year. So today is Pop Quiz Monday. I have a scenario kind of drawn out pertaining to the question that I had last week that kind of stumped me, or I didn't like the choices for my answers. So I'm going to share that with you, and I will give you what I think are the right answers today, and I'll look forward to your input with that. Also, I wanted to remind you all that we have the Uscope Drawing giveaway. This Friday is going to be a Uscope Drawing giveaway if you're signed up for the Core or Premium membership to Hands-On Auto Training. That is a $10 a month subscription for the Core or $30 a month for the Premium. You will be automatically entered in to win the Uscope. So if you want to learn more about basic electricity testing, picoscope stuff, and a whole handful of other things, be sure to check that out. The link is in the description. Today started out with the 2008 Chevy Suburban. This had a replacement transmission control module. I think the transmission was rebuilt, so you went ahead and programmed that. That was no problem. Next up was a 2009 Cadillac Escalade. This was a hybrid. This thing had all kinds of issues going on. I was originally called out because it didn't crank. And you know, the covers on these things, when I say the covers, all the covers for all the hybrid modules and stuff like that, and the switches and all that stuff are very sensitive. You got to make sure you have them properly installed, or else you'll have problems. So I found a switch that was not latched all the way. The disconnect was not pushed down all the way back here. I fixed that, and then the vehicle cranked. Once it's cranked up and started running, it was running poorly. It was running, it felt like it had a misfire, and sure enough it did. We had a code for the number 4 oil control solenoid for the cylinder deactivation, and what happened was when that code sets, it will turn off an injector. However, as I was going to test my injector on this, the other cylinder started shutting down. Pretty odd stuff. I had codes for all 4 solenoids, and I did some basic testing. I've come to the conclusion we have some open solenoids on this. I'm not sure what's going on, but the vehicle does start and run. That's a good thing. There's other underlying conditions, and I don't know if they're going to have me get into it. Next up, we had a 2006 Chevy Tahoe. This had a replacement ECM. Turns out the original engine control module works better than the new one. The new used, or should I say the new remanufactured engine control module sets a U0107 all the time, no communication with the TAC module. We don't ever have that problem with the original one in. However, we do have a P0352. This is an ignition coil control circuit for cylinder number 2. This is setting all the time. I'm almost 100% sure that they have a wiring issue, and they didn't want me to get into it any further at the time. Next up, we had a 2016 Ford F-150. This had a key replacement. I had to cut and program a key. The Auto Pro pad did the job, no problem here. Gravy train, no issues. So let's go ahead and get into today's pop quiz. All right, let's go ahead over a very simple ground side control circuit. This is an example. We're going to have battery positive up here coming in on this red wire to our load, and then we're going to also have battery positive going into this module. We'll call this our engine control module or powertrain control module, whatever you want to call it. And then we have this wire between the load and the powertrain control module. Now inside this powertrain control module, we have some logic, and basically we have a transistor that can control the ground to our load. So if this logic turns this transistor on, it will allow current to flow through our load to ground. Now the question was set up kind of like this. If we have a coil that is not sparking, or we have no spark situation at a coil, and terminal A has 12.6 volts, and terminal 24 of this computer has 0.0 volts measured, and terminal 6 has 12.6 volts, and terminal number 8 has 0.0 volts. Here's our options to answer the question with. A, do we have a short to power at pin 24 of the engine control module? That would be a short to power right here. Do we have that? B, do we have a faulty ignition coil? That'd be something wrong with this coil, or load, something wrong with the load right here. C, do we have a faulty PCM driver? Or D, do we have a short to power at pin 8 of the powertrain control module? Do we have a short to power right here? Well, let's go ahead and talk about our answers. The answer A was a short to power at pin 24 of the engine control module. If we had a short to power right here at pin 24, we would have 12 volts or battery voltage being read right here, and we're showing 0 volts read, so it's not A. Now number B, a faulty ignition coil. If we had a faulty coil, this is what I think the answer that they're looking for was. We could have a open circuit in this coil, and that would cause us to have 0 volts read here, ideally, probably. We don't know that for sure. You might see like a little trace voltage or some sort of backfeed voltage from the engine control module, but I would go with that. That's what I kind of think they want the answer would be B. We have a faulty coil, because if we have an open circuit in the coil right here, we would have no voltage coming through. Okay, answer C was a faulty driver inside the control module. That would be this driver right here. Now, the reason I did not like this question was because if this coil was okay, and we were measuring here, and we had 0 volts here, that would technically usually mean, if we had 12.6 here and 0 volts there, that would mean that this driver is turned on and we are allowing current to flow through the circuit. Why I didn't like this question is because I have seen injector drivers and coil drivers get stuck on. So just because you see 0.0 volts there does not necessarily mean that we have an open circuit. I mean, you could be jamming a new coil in there, turn the key on and be like, oh, I got 0 volts over here, and you're just burning up a new coil and letting the smoke out. So that's why I didn't like that question. And then let's go over answer D. Now, answer D was short to power at pin 8 of the PCM. Basically, that would be taking away our ground, I would think. If we had direct battery positive here, it'd be some huge short to ground, something would be burning up or popping fuses, but I don't think that that would cause 0 volts here. So that was my overview of the test question that I really didn't like. I was sharing that with you guys because I really kind of get frustrated. I have seen those, I have seen drivers stick on and fail on, if you will, and it's kind of weird. It's a really weird situation, but it can happen either way. And I don't like the ASE question because it said which of these could be the answer. Well, it could be 2 of those possibly. So I don't want to mislead anybody. Let me know what you guys think. I hope everybody's doing well. Have a great day. I gotta go. Bye-bye.